Now it's time for Fantasy Fanatics.
Welcome into Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Freeman.
Hey, how you doing? It's me, the Swink.
It's working out for you this week, except you're playing against somebody that has the same exact plan as you do, and I'd say they're matching up very well with you. You guys are pretty much practically even with points.
Yeah, I know, and I do have. I think on Sunday I have 3 pitchers going, maybe 2, so I could have a good chance.
Yeah. If someone pitches a complete game or does what Chris Sale did by completely annihilating New York Yankees, which makes our friend the Swink giggle with glee because he is a White Sox fan.
I'm sure it does.
Oh, yeah. I was watching that game last night, and Chris Sale went 6 innings. He only gave up 1 hit, struck out 11 batters.
And thank you, Mr. Stuprich, for saying, Chris Sale's coming back from injury. You should change your lineup so your Yankee players are playing. Thank you.
He obviously didn't look at the Chris Sale stats.
I know, but you gave me -3.
3-0.
Well, now who was the other guy that you were deciding of trying to put in?
I had Howie Kendrick, and he got points.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
I was hoping that wouldn't happen.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Chris Sale's record against the Yankees.
You just stick to your pitching, okay? You stick to your pitching.
Right.
I know my bats.
I'll stick to my pitching.
I know my bats.
And we did have a couple weeks ago, we decided to go over the pitching matchups for Friday, May 9th, because that was our show 2 weeks ago.
Oh, how'd we do?
And we were off last week, and I found out how we did. I think we did about even. As far as our picks, the first game was Houston against Baltimore. We both picked Baltimore's pitcher, which was Wei-Yin Chen, and he got the win, so we both got that right.
Woo.
And then we had the Cardinals and Pirates, and that was Michael Wacha against Francisco Liriano. It was a no decision. Neither guy got a win or loss, but I did say that the Pirates would win, so. Technically, I got that.
No technicalities here, sir. Your pitcher did not get the win, so therefore you.
Well, it's a no decision, so none of us got points for that. And that is the same with the Angels and Blue Jays. We both picked Garrett. We both picked the Angels pitcher, which was Garrett Richards. And he got a no decision, but the Angels did win, but we didn't pick that one correctly. Let's see, Phil Hughes against Justin Verlander. We both got that wrong because Verlander actually got lit up that game, and Phil Hughes won.
Gosh darn it, Verlander.
Pretty surprising. Actually, he hasn't really done that well this year. I know he had an outing a couple of days ago where he gave up, 5 or 6 runs.
Experts are saying to pick up Hughes for spot starts.
Yeah, I believe he's really done well. His last, I think he's won his last 4 starts.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that he's so old his arm's going to get, fall off like a zombie. Just bam.
Yeah,
And I'm like, man, why did I pick him up?
I mean, Minnesota is starting to do okay.
Minnesota is what, second in their divisions? Or something like that?
I think
third.
They're sort of hovering around 500. I don't know. Nick, do you think that they have a good shot of competing this year, or do you think they're going to eventually fall down like they always do?
No, I don't think that they're going to compete for the division. The division is Detroit's to lose pretty much because Detroit is miles ahead of everyone else in the division. They're about, I think, 7 games ahead of the second-place team. Mm-hmm. And they have, obviously, the best team in the Central. They got the best pitching, the best offense. As far as the Twins go, they've been a surprise so far this season, but I think they're going to come back down to earth, and they're probably going to finish maybe second to last in the standings.
I could see that.
I think Kinsler he's shutting the hell up now, seeing what's happening in Texas. He's like, you know what? That wasn't such a bad trade.
Yeah, well, because that's pretty amazing.
And Detroit's probably thinking it too. Just like when Carl Crawford went to Boston, Tampa Bay was probably like, that was a good. People are calling us idiots, but that was a pretty good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, he has not really done that good since he's been in Tampa Bay.
No, really, but Kinsler is doing good this season. And
he is.
Detroit as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Man, watch out.
Detroit's going to be good for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
And they've been good
since
since
rounded team. They have the
2011.
pitching and the hitting, and they have the defense.
The only problem that I see with the Tigers is their bullpen.
Yeah.
They have some problems with the bullpen. They have problems closing games.
It's true. They've had closer issues, but Not like the Cubs closing issue.
No, not like the Cubs.
They have a few decent
No one's
guys.
like the Cubs. Let's be honest with that.
That's like talking high school ball.
Yeah.
They don't have the bullpen problems that the Cubs or the Sox have.
Right.
But they still have issues with their closer because I don't even know who their closer is right now. I think it's Phil Koch.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is Phil Koch.
But we got stuck on that. Go continue with the pitching.
Yeah.
I hope we do this again today.
Yeah, I have the matchups out here.
Nice.
We're going to do that a little later on.
Winners and losers, yes.
Okay, there was the Indians versus Rays game. That was 2 Fridays ago. It was Corey Kluber against Jake Odorizzi. Andrew went with Jake Odorizzi. I went with Corey Kluber, and Corey Kluber did get the win, so I got a point there.
Darn it.
And let's see, the Rockies versus the Reds. That was Julius Chachin, or however you say his name, against Johnny.
Jules Chassin.
Jules Chassin.
Against
Chassin.
Sounds like a funky fragrance.
Yeah, it does.
Chassin.
And he played. and he played Johnny Cueto, and there was a no decision in that game. We both picked Johnny Cueto, and the Reds got the win. But
I would have picked Johnny Cueto.
Cueto's been red hot.
That guy, Johnny Cueto, in particular, not just the Reds, but Cueto in particular has been very good this year.
Oh yeah, I think he was leading the NL in ERA until Jeff Samardzija passed him up, and
it's because he wears Chassin.
Chassin for man.
And okay, this one was Phillies against Mets. It was Roberto Hernandez, who I've never really heard of. He's on the Phillies, against Jenry Mejia, and it was a no decision. We both picked Roberto Hernandez, and the Phillies did win, but he didn't get a win or a loss.
That's the guy that used to be called Fausto Carmona, I think.
Oh, I think you're right.
The artist formerly known as Fausto Carmona.
Yes,
then
I remember Fausto Carmona.
Then they found out that, hey, that's not his real name.
Exactly.
And they're like, it's Roberto Hernandez, the most generic Latin player name ever, Roberto Hernandez.
Yeah, exactly.
Middle name Garcia.
Right. And then we had the Cubs and Braves game. Andrew went with Jason Hamill. I went with Julio Teheran. It was no decision, but the Braves did win. So at least I picked the team right. But Julio Teheran.
That was a long shot. I'm just glad it went to a no decision, and I didn't get completely destroyed on that one.
Right. There's a couple at the end here as I was going through this. I think there's a couple at the end that you just totally destroyed me on. But let's see, the Boston Red Sox against the Texas Rangers. We both went with Clay Buchholz, and that was Clay Buchholz against Yu Darvish. And lo and behold, Clay Buchholz did not do good. I wonder why we both went with Clay Buchholz instead of Yu Darvish for that one.
I think there was an injury issue, or there's where he was slumping really bad because he allowed like 10 hits in a game or something crazy like that.
And I know that we both got that wrong. So, and last one we'll do before we go to break is the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the White Sox. We both picked Brandon McCarthy, and Andre Rienzo beat him.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
That game was a blowout.
Yeah, I think 9-3 or something was the final score.
9-3.
Yeah, so, Andre Rienzo, we didn't have any faith in him there, Andrew, but oh well.
We're horrible pickers.
Rienzo has been pitching pretty well, actually, I have to say.
Yeah, he has. I know he has at least 3 wins. I don't know if he has any more than that, but yeah, he's doing pretty well.
Ever since he got called up about a month ago.
Yeah. We'll talk some more baseball and go through more of these matchups and some more injuries, as there was a big injury for the Texas Rangers first baseman.
A few huge injuries going on in Texas.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about more of that stuff on Fantasy Fanatics, SportsTownChicago.com.
Winners. I did it. I won. Yes! Losers. I never win anything!
Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Andrew Freeman.
And I am the Swink.
Yes.
And I am not losing, so in your face commercial.
Not losing yet. I think, I know you're 6-1 now, but I think you're due for a couple losses.
My batting is coming down to earth.
Yeah?
I just dropped Charlie Blackmon. I dropped him. I completely got rid of him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand that. He was doing good. Now he's not doing so good. But
Well, he's in a whole pool of players to play the position he plays.
Right.
Because Kadir came back. Yeah, sorry. My dyslexic mind can't wrap itself around a D and a Y.
I mean, I think, obviously I think our league is going to be close by the end of it. At least I'm sure it'll be.
I just want to win every single game.
Well, that's
everybody
that's
wants
hope.
that, but yeah. I feel like it could actually happen.
It could, until you face me, but...
I already beat you, so I don't feel
know,
threatened.
but we'll play again.
Yes. Hopefully your pitching's on.
Yeah.
It was not so much.
I know.
I beat you by like 200 points.
It was bad.
It was sad.
Okay, let's continue our talk about the teams that we picked a couple weeks ago. This is 2 weeks ago because we were off last week. This is the Yankees against the Brewers. It was Masahiro Tanaka against Giovanni Gallardo. We both correctly picked Masahiro Tanaka with the win. So
that was a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, pretty much a no-brainer there. The Washington Nationals played Oakland, and that was Doug Fister, and that was Doug Fister's return from the DL. He's on my fantasy team, by the way.
Yes.
And that was his return from the DL against Tommy Malone. He did not have a good return, and even though I went with him, he lost. You went with Tommy Malone, and Tommy Malone got the win, so you get a point there.
Bam, we're tied.
And, yeah, yes, we are tied, because there's been a lot of no decisions. This was a bad week to pick, because there was a lot of no decisions. Kansas City against Seattle, we had Jason Vargas against Brandon Maurer, and we both incorrectly picked Brandon Maurer as Jason Vargas got the win. So
I just don't like Jason Vargas' pitching style.
Yeah,
he's a pop-up pitcher.
Yeah, and I didn't really like it either. But
sometimes the wind blows outwards, and those pop-ups become home runs.
Yep. There's 2 games left here. Miami against San Diego. That was Jose Fernandez against Tyson Ross. I don't know how you went with Tyson Ross, but you did, and he actually beat Jose Fernandez that day.
Bam!
Speaking of Jose Fernandez, bad news for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you guys weren't on last week.
Right.
It was announced that he had season-ending Tommy John surgery.
Yes, we've been talking about it week for week. This is the epidemic.
Yes.
It really is.
Tommy John. We said it like week 2.
I know.
Why are there so many players that are getting Tommy John this year?
Now it just keeps happening.
Yeah,
and now there's like 10 more players.
Griff and I were discussing it when before the season even started, because there was already a list of players that were out with Tommy John surgery, and it just keeps growing and growing every week. I think they're in like the 20s now.
Yeah, it's been about that. I don't understand that, but
I joked around saying if they start going into a losing streak, that's just their punishment. They don't send them down anymore. They're like, you got to get Tommy John.
Yeah, so...
Hey, you know what? When guys that get Tommy John, they come back stronger.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
Well, they have to do physical therapy on that arm, so maybe they should just do physical therapy every season.
Yes, so Andrew did pick Tyson Ross, which I don't know how, but you got that point, so you're beating me. And with the last one, you also got the win, as Madison Bumgarner beat Paul Maholm. For some reason, I went with Paul Maholm.
That's a horrible pick.
Against Madison Bumgarner. I think it's because the Dodgers were at home and they were starting to do really good.
How could you not
That's
choose
when they started
their
big winning streak. But yeah, Madison Bumgarner did get the win, so point to you. So you did beat me.
Bam!
I don't know what the final score was of that, but I think you...
3-1, something like that.
You picked a couple games more than I did.
2-1.
Yes. And we have a little bit of time before an update. Did you want to go ahead and pick
Let's start the picks, because we have 3 people picking, so it's going to take some time.
We'll have Nick do this as well. Okay, tonight, of course, all the teams are playing tonight. Yes. And we have the Cleveland Indians versus the Baltimore Orioles. TJ House, who I haven't really heard of, but he goes against Bud Norris. It says here about TJ House, Friday will be 5 days since House made his debut. In that time, he's been sent down and called back up. The lefty was recalled after Wednesday's 13-inning game, left the Tribe in need of a starter. House pitched a perfect inning in his only outing. And Bud Norris, who I'm sure you all have heard of, Norris took the loss in his last start despite a stellar outing in which he held the Royals to 1 run over 7 1/3 innings. the righty has been the Orioles' best starter this year. So the Orioles are at home, and it's T.J. House against Bud Norris. Who do you guys think is going to win?
Norris. House is just we pitch too many guys. Let's bring up somebody. Norris throws heat, but sometimes he has some bad games. That's why he's 2-4 with a 3.58 ERA.
Right.
But I think Norris will pull this one out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Bud Norris as well because Cleveland Indians are struggling right now. And it's also Baltimore playing at home, so they have that advantage going for them. Plus this kid, T.J. House, I'm calling him a kid. I don't know how old he is.
12.
He's called up, sent down, called back up again.
Right.
Cleveland's just in need of pitching, so, yeah. He only pitched one inning.
Yeah.
So.
Right, he pitched a perfect inning in his only outing, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could.
With Norris.
At least one.
Not perfect, but you could probably pitch 8 innings.
It's just because they're not used to my heat of 45 miles an hour. They're like, man, is this slow pitch softball?
Yeah, it'd probably take a little bit for them to get adjusted to that.
Yeah,
Reminds me of that game earlier this year where the White Sox ran out of pitchers, so they had to have Lori Garcia, who's a utility player, pitch.
That's right.
And he's throwing like 65 miles an hour.
Did he get like a couple outs like right away?
He did.
And then
he got like
gave
the
up
first
like
2 outs, then he gave up like 3 runs.
Well, they get used to that speed, and then it's over. That's like home run derby speed.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
The pitching machine doesn't even go that low.
Right. But yeah, I also went with Bud Norris. I'm going to go with him just basically because he's pitching at home, and he's been their best starter all year. So, yeah, I'm going with Bud Norris, too. And let's do one more before update time. The Dodgers against the Phillies. Clayton Kershaw against Roberto Hernandez. So Roberto Hernandez pitching again, as he did the last 2 Fridays ago.
How'd Kershaw do his last game?
Kershaw, his last game? Yeah. Let's see. Kershaw has 2 hurdles. He's coming off a disaster in Arizona, 7 runs in 1 2/3 innings.
Yeah, his ERA is at 4.43, a little high for Kershaw.
And during batting practice on Wednesday, he took a Justin Turner line drive off his right shin. He said he's fine, but the leg has been bandaged up. But he is going to start tonight, and he's going against Roberto Hernandez for the Phillies. And Hernandez rejoins the rotation after the Phillies skipped his last start because of a couple days off last week. He has pitched out of the bullpen, becoming one of Ryan Sandberg's most reliable arms. But he is going to start today. So who do you think is going to win this? Do you think Kershaw goes into Philadelphia and gets the win?
I feel like Kershaw does get the win. He has the bat support. I feel.
Yeah, he does have the bat support, but
I want to say Hernandez, but I have to go Kershaw. You have to go Kershaw.
I have to pick Clayton Kershaw here. He has the run support, that is true, but it's also Clayton Kershaw.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he did have a bad outing last time, but I'll just chalk that one up to, pitchers always have, sometimes you're going to have bad outings. You just forget about them, move on. And it's Clayton Kershaw, so we know that he's been a dominant pitcher, and I think he's going to beat the Phillies.
Yeah, I think he's going to beat the Phillies, but it's kind of interesting, though, that he got a line drive off of his right shin, and he said he's fine, but his leg's been bandaged up. I'm still going to go with Kershaw, but I think I don't think it would be a shock if he got at least a no decision or a loss.
I agree with that.
Because
Kershaw's at a 4.43, which is double like his last season's ERA.
Right.
Well, I don't know how many games has he pitched so far.
3.
Yeah, that this will be his 3rd start or 4th start.
He's 2-1. He might have had a no decision in there.
Okay. Well, I know he pitched in Australia. He pitched a game in Australia before the season, at least in America, started, and then he got hurt, and he's came back like a couple weeks ago. I think.
That counts as 2 games.
Right. So, so we're all going with Kershaw. We're gonna do an update, come back, maybe do 1 or 2 more of those, and then go to break. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And I am the Swink.
Yes, we have Nick sitting in today to talk baseball with us, which is always good. And we've gone through 2 games right now of who we think is going to win tonight. We did the Indians versus the Orioles, and we all picked Bud Norris. and we did the Dodgers versus the Phillies, and we all picked Clayton Kershaw. Now let's move on to the Nationals versus the Pirates. It's going to be Jordan Zimmermann against Charlie Morton, and we know Jordan Zimmermann has been really good all year. He's been good for a couple of years now, but Jordan Zimmermann won his third game of the season after allowing 3 runs in 6 innings against the Mets on Sunday. The right-hander will face the Pirates for the second time in his career. And Charlie Morton for the Pirates. Morton has not won for 14 consecutive starts.
0-6.
Yeah, despite a respectable 3.69 ERA across that stretch. He's allowed 2 home runs in his last 71 2/3 innings at PNC Park. He has a career record of 6-12 against NL East teams. So, yeah, he's 6-12 against NL East teams, which, isn't that good of a record, but it's not horrible because he does have 6 wins at least. But, yeah, who do you guys think is going to win? Do you think Jordan Zimmermann or Charlie Morton?
I'm going off the beaten path here. I'm going to blaze my own path. I'm going to go with Morton.
Okay.
He has a better ERA, and he's 0-6, so he has to at least win 1 game.
Yeah.
And it's going to be this game.
Right. Something's got to give.
Something's got to give.
But then again, he could be like Zamarja.
He could be. He could be.
That's true.
So I was actually going to go against the grain and pick Morton, but I'm actually going to say Zimmerman.
Okay. I'm going to also take Jordan Zimmermann. I think he's going to go into Pittsburgh and get a good win. He's pitched well for a long time, so I think
Morton's got a better ERA than Zimmermann.
That continues.
ERA doesn't mean that much.
It means runs per game pretty much.
Did you take Charlie Morton, Andrew?
I'm taking Morton.
Okay.
He can't be pitching. He actually has a 3.45. What ESPN
run average.
Yeah, exactly. Like ESPN says he has a 3.45, so he must be missing a game or something on your totals, or ESPN is. So that's a pretty respectable ERA for.
Yeah, it is.
And Zimmermann is rocking a 3.70.
Oh, a couple points.
It's all going to add up today. Morton with the win.
Well, we'll see. We'll
He's
have to try to keep tabs
6-12 against
on
NL East teams. Plus, the Nationals are a better team than the Pirates.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
and
that's
the Cubs beat New York a day.
Oh,
yeah,
no one
twice.
expected Masahiro Tanaka to get knocked around by the Cubs.
Exactly. No one expects Morton to beat
It was because
Zimmermann.
of the weather that Tanaka did bad.
Oh, excuses.
I'm serious. I think maybe he
Yankees-
can't pitch in rain.
The Yankees also could have lost Game 2 had the Cubs bullpen not blown it in the 9th.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not
and
really
of all
a
people, it was
surprise.
Hector Rondon, who I really liked, and he's really done well this year, and he gave up those 2 runs. I mean, it was all pretty much because of the Darwin Barney miss on the double play. He had an error,
That's
a
rare.
throwing error to first.
The Yankees aren't exactly tearing the cover off the ball right now.
No, they're not. I mean, I know Mark Teixeira's doing good, but besides that, there isn't a whole lot of people that are doing very good on that team.
I think they got like 4 hits last night.
Yeah, and they got most, and 3 of them were in the 9th inning, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk more about this, and we'll continue going through some of these teams after the break on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Freeman.
And I'm the Swink.
And we were going over pitching matchups for tonight, and we have the Oakland Athletics versus the Toronto Blue Jays up next. I think we all decided we were going to go with Scott Kazmir, correct?
That is correct.
Yes, so we all went with Scott Kazmir, and that Scott Kazmir, I know he's done pretty well this year.
5-1, 2.39.
You also really can't go against the Oakland A's, especially against Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Toronto's not doing too bad lately.
They're not doing too bad, but Oakland is like the best team in baseball right now.
Yeah, they are.
Their
True.
run differential is nuts. It's like 90-something.
Yeah, you quoted it yesterday at 99.
Yes, that is ridiculous, considering the second most run differential, I think, is like 43.
Right.
Correct.
So, yeah, Oakland is good at baseball.
Yeah, they are.
They're definitely good at baseball.
We have the Texas Rangers versus the Detroit Tigers. That's Scott Baker against Anibal Sanchez.
We all picked Sanchez.
We all decided
Texas
on Anibal Sanchez.
Is a big flaming poo. Just telling you how I feel.
Well, if you're from Texas and you were offended by that, you can call 630-403-5200.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
can tell you to your face that your baseball team.
You can talk to Andrew directly.
Houston
Yes,
is better than the Rangers.
Talk to Freeman directly.
Right. Arizona Diamondbacks versus the New York Mets. We have Chase Anderson versus
You skipped
Bartolo
over
Colon.
Miller Bailey, didn't you?
I don't think I've heard of Chase Anderson.
Chase, no.
But, yeah, he's going against Bartolo Colon, young guy against old guy here. I know I went with Chase Anderson. What was the decision from you guys?
You went Anderson, we went Colon.
Okay.
Yeah, we're picking Colon, even though, I remember
Anderson's
Bartolo
too.
Colon from his 2 cups of coffee that he had with the White Sox.
Right.
And it wasn't exactly good. Of course, he was good last year, but, that's because of PEDs. But anyway.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, yeah.
He was good last year for the Athletics, but that's, like I said, because of PEDs.
Yeah.
Still, it's the Mets going against the Diamondbacks. Nobody really wins here.
Right.
Change the channel.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks.
You have this on, change the channel.
The
Like, you have the
Diamondbacks
MLB
are just
package.
so
you must
bad,
live
though.
in Arizona, or
Yeah.
no, they wouldn't even play that in New York. Maybe Jersey.
Well, it's not going to be on the Yes Network because that's what the Yankees game is going to be on. I know that. Let's see. The Red Sox versus the Rays. We have John Lackey against Chris Archer. Archer hasn't done that well this year, but he has a lot of hope and a lot of. I mean, he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be something really special, but he
Yeah,
hasn't
the
really
Rays
shown
as
it
a
yet.
whole haven't done that good this year.
Right.
They've been a
I know-
total disappointment so far.
Right. And I know I went with Archer here. Who else went with Archer?
Went with Lackey.
Yeah, I also went with Lackey.
So you both went Lackey. Yeah, Lackey's done well this year. Because as far as like the Red Sox pitching staff is concerned, they haven't done that well as a whole, but
No.
he's been pretty good.
Yeah, there's been a few bright spots on that Red Sox rotation. They've also been a bit of a disappointment as well. But the Rays are like the major disappointment, I think, in the AL East because a lot of people
Definitely.
at the start of the season or spring trading, myself and Griff included on our show, which is turning 2 every Monday from 2 to 4 p.m.
There you go.
On SportsTownChicago.com.
You got to plug it.
Yep. Although we won't have a show this week due to Memorial Day. But anyways, both of us thought that the Rays were a lock pretty much to win the AL East with that pitching staff that they have. And they have enough offense. I mean, they don't have the best offense, but they have enough to win games. When you have that kind of pitching staff, you don't really need all that to score that many runs. But at the same time, their pitching hasn't been all that great this year. So,
well, especially when you lose Matt Moore to Tommy John, it's just
Right.
That's a huge blow.
That and David Price has been really disappointing this year too.
Yeah. Let's see. We have the Brewers against the Marlins. Marco Estrada against Tom Kohler, and I think I know somebody went with Tom Kohler.
I did. I went with Kohler.
And me and Nick both went with Marco Estrada, I believe.
Wait.
right?
Hold on.
Where did you go with
It's
Kohler?
Miami. I went with Milwaukee, but it's Miami playing at home, right?
Miami is playing at home, and I know they have a really
All
good
right,
home record,
I'm gonna
right?
change it and go to Kohler
That's
because
what I
I
thought.
forgot that Miami's playing at
18
home.
and 6.
Okay.
And they're unbeatable at home. See,
I'll
all they
stick
need to
with
do,
Estrada.
all they need to do to win the World Series, they got to
Play
play
at home.
the rest of the games in Miami. That way, they win the World Series. See, I said my prediction was Astros and Marlins for the World Series. If Miami could just play the rest of their games at home,
Yep.
half of my prediction would be right.
Did you really pick that?
No, I was.
I
joking.
hope so.
I picked the
but yeah.
Chicago Cubs to go 162-0. I was wrong day one.
Said no one ever.
You were wrong day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 until they finally won a game, probably.
Darn you, Cubbies.
But yeah,
Always next year.
Yeah, always next year, I guess.
been 106 years. My great-grandpa died earlier this month. He was 96. Didn't see him win a World Series either.
God rest his soul.
It's really sad. But, yeah,
Someone spiked my lemonade. I don't want to watch this crap.
but yeah,
Is it Wheel of Fortune on? I like that Pat Sajak. That Vanna White sure always wears beautiful dresses.
He says racist things, but I agree.
Yeah, she doesn't believe in global warming, but
Unpatriotic terrorists.
Yeah, but let's see. What's the other matchup here? Oh, St. Louis against Cincinnati. That's
there we go.
Shelby Miller against Homer Bailey. I know I went with Homer Bailey, and he is pitching at home. He has thrown 2 no-hitters, I think, in his career, hasn't he? I know he's thrown 1.
Shelby Miller. I picked Miller.
I think Homer Bailey's has
2.79 ERA. Come on now.
Yeah, I know he's really done well. Let's see. He allowed 1 run while striking out 7 versus Atlanta. That was his last start. Yeah, he's done really well this year. But I'm gonna go with Homer Bailey, and I think you both, or no, Nick went with Homer Bailey too.
Yeah, I'm going with Homer Bailey. First off, because his name is Homer Bailey, which is a great name.
Pretty close to Gomer Pyle, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
His name is a baseball term, Homer Bailey.
Yep.
Not good for a pitcher, though.
So, yeah. No, it's kind of ironic that his name is Homer Bailey and he's a pitcher. But, yeah, I'm going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's playing at home.
Mm-hmm. They just won 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee.
Yeah, and they beat Milwaukee, who's on top of the NL East. Central.
Central, yeah.
I'm a brain fart over here.
We have Jordan Lyles against Gavin Floyd. That's the Rockies versus the Braves.
We all picked Lyles.
We all
Every
picked
single
Lyles.
one of us.
That's because Gavin Floyd sucks.
Yeah, we've seen Gavin Floyd pitch
You're
here
terrible!
in Chicago. We sort of know.
I've seen enough of Gavin Floyd to know that the guy is terrible. When I saw that the Braves signed him in the offseason, I was like, what are they thinking? Then they got lucky because he was on the DL for a while.
Yeah.
But now he's back, and now he has to pitch.
Why this man even owns a glove, I do not know.
Here, I'll tell you a little bit about Gavin Floyd. Through his first 3 starts, Floyd has avoided the inconsistencies and command issues that he often experiences that a pitcher often experiences when they first return from Tommy John surgery. He's limited right-handed hitters to a 194 batting average, so he's done good against righties, but yeah, he hasn't.
That's why you stack the batting order with lefties.
Exactly.
That's correct.
And I'm sure the Braves.
Called playing the percentages. It's one of the oldest unwritten rules in baseball. Just ask Casey Stengel.
Right, exactly. Hiroki Kuroda for the Yankees is going against Hector Noesi for the White Sox. And I think we all sort of picked Hiroki Kuroda here.
Well, yeah, it's Hiroki Kuroda versus a pitching machine.
Well, when you pitch an ERA of 7.31, I usually do not pick that person.
I'm a White Sox fan, but I'm going to have to go with the Yankees in this one because Hector Noesi is awful. Like I said, he's the equivalent of a pitching machine out there. So I think that it's going to be like batting practice for the Yankees tonight.
It's going to be a high score.
Yeah.
And Danny Duffy against C.J. Wilson. That's the Royals against the Angels. We didn't really go over this one over break, but Danny Duffy had a really good outing last game. He flirted with a perfect game against the Orioles. He retired the first 20 batters before allowing a single to Adam Jones. So he's done pretty well. And C.J. Wilson is coming off his first complete game in 3 seasons with the Angels. He had a shutout against the Rays while giving up 5 hits, walking 2, and striking out 7. He has a 2.91 ERA in 46 innings against the Royals. So he's done really well against the Royals.
Duffy has a 1.42 ERA, so that's like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the way I see this one is kind of a toss-up because neither team, the Royals or the Angels, have neither of them have played all that well. Not as well as some people expected them to. But I'm going to have to go with C.J. Wilson, actually, in this one.
I have to go with C.J. Wilson because Duffy has no run support in Kansas City.
Exactly.
That's true.
Billy Hamilton, whatever.
Yeah, that's his name.
No. He just,
Eric Hosmer?
They're supposed to be these big home run hitters on Kansas City. They just never showed up.
I mean, Alex Gordon really hasn't done much this year.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be their best player.
That's their thing. They don't have home run hitters on that team.
Right.
It was funny because there was an interesting stat that Jose Abreu had more home runs than the Royals did as a team.
Good.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, with a pitcher pitching a 1.42 but still having 3 losses, no run support whatsoever.
See, the Cubs against the Padres tonight at 9:10 at Petco Park in San Diego. Edwin Jackson against Tim Stauffer. Edwin Jackson, I know he had a really good start I think it was last Saturday against the Brewers. He picked up a win in his last start versus the Brewers and has been on a roll. In his last 3 starts, he's given up 4 earned runs over 20 innings for a 1.80 ERA. So he's doing pretty well. And Tim Stauffer has, who is normally a long reliever, is going to step in the rotation in a pinch to take the place of the injured starter Robbie Erlin. Stauffer made his last start in May of 2012, so he hasn't pitched in a long, long time. At least as a starter. Who do you think wins this game, Edwin Jackson or Stauffer? I'm going to go Edwin Jackson.
I'm going to go Stauffer. Go Cubbies. Wait, no, Jackson. What? Yeah, I'm going to go Jackson because...
You're going with the Cubs, right?
I'm going with the Cubs because they're on a hot streak right now. They've been winning a bunch of games lately.
They have.
They might go 500 in a month.
Yeah,
it's possible.
I'm going to pick Jackson here, mostly because Edwin Jackson has been pitching well in his last 3 starts. Mm-hmm. Stauffer is just spilling in as a spot starter. Like you said, he hasn't started since 2012. So I'm pretty sure that the Cubs are going to win this one. I'm going to go with Jackson.
And let's just go over the last 2 games real quick. We got the Houston Astros versus the Seattle Mariners. Brad Peacock against Felix Hernandez. It's pretty easy for me to go with Felix.
Seattle, I don't care.
Yeah. King Felix, obviously.
Yeah, who's Peacock? I have no idea.
Brad Peacock. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It says here he allowed 2 earned runs in 6 2/3 innings to defeat the White Sox in his last start on May 18th. He struck out a career high 11 Rangers in his previous outing. So, yeah, he's doing okay. But, yeah, I'm still going to go with Felix Hernandez.
You know, the White Sox kind of lost 2 out of 3 in Houston to the Astros. That was pretty sad.
Yeah.
They had opportunities to score more than 2 runs, though, in that game. It's just they failed to do so.
Yeah. Let's do the last game real quick.
Last game, Twins versus Giants. We got Kyle Gibson for the Twins against Tim Lincecum for the Giants. I know Tim Lincecum hasn't,
No. I want to pick Lincecum, but he's horrible, so I'm going to go Gibson. I'm going to go with Minnesota.
It says here Kyle Gibson bounced back with a strong effort against the Mariners last Friday for his last outing. So he was doing so he's coming off a good outing, and Lincecum struck out 12 in his last outings too. So they're both coming off good performances. But I'm going to go with Kyle Gibson.
I'm going Timmy.
And you're going with Kyle Gibson?
I'm also going with Gibson. I think Minnesota can win this one. They're not going to win the series, but they're going to win this one.
Okay.
I'm going Timmy.
And that was our picks for this week, and we will tell you next week how we all did. And we're going to take a break and come back with an update, and we'll do more Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. We'll be on right after this.
What's a tablet?
The Bears.
The DL on the ALNL.
Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Freeman.
And I'm the Swink, and it sounds like we're in a rave.
Yeah, we are. What's on the DL?
Well, there's been a lot of injuries, of course. One that's close to home anyway is the Jose Abreu injury, and maybe Nick can talk a little bit about this since he's sort of our White Sox expert here. I mean, Jose Abreu, obviously he had that ankle injury. He was limping a little bit, and then they found out later that
he's got tendonitis in his ankle. He's been walking around with a boot on his ankle. He's currently on the 15-day DL. They don't know if he's going to be back when the 15 days are up. I think he's going to get a shot, or he's getting a shot today in his ankle. So, yeah, with an injury like that, the best thing you can do, I guess, is just to rest, meaning don't walk around on it. And, he's been playing through that injury for a while now, and it was really noticeable in the last game that he played in when he hit like a routine fly ball. He was just limping, just walking or running, trying to run.
Yeah, I saw highlights of that, and that was obviously not a good sign. And it says he's going to be due back June 2nd here on my sheet. And the official injury name is a posterior tibia tendonitis, and that's in his left ankle. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and he is still in a boot as of today, at least as of today's update, and he will be evaluated next week.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of concern for some fans. I know that Griff and I talked about this on Monday, and he was a little bit concerned about it because he thinks, he had this problem in spring training with his ankle. He had this problem when he was in Cuba with his ankle. He's just hoping that it's not a reoccurring thing with this guy throughout his career.
Sounds like surgery is going to happen at some point. Maybe off season, hopefully, if he can last that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. And then, of course, another injury that was devastating to the Rangers is Prince Fielder, their first baseman. He is out for the season with a herniated disc in his neck, and he is scheduled to go undergo season-ending surgery May 27th. So that would be this coming Tuesday.
Yeah, that's another big blow for the Texas Rangers, who also lost Martin Perez for the season due to Tommy John surgery.
And also lost Profar.
Jackson Profar, who's already out. He's been out since the beginning of the season, but they just lost Martin Perez last week because he needs Tommy John surgery. So that's another blow to their already depleted starting pitching staff.
Texas Rangers, the team that me and Stuprich thought were going to dominate, absolutely destroyed by injuries this season.
I thought it was going to be a two-team race. Griff and I thought, I keep saying Griff and I, talking about Griff and Yee, my co-host on Turning 2 on SportsTownChicago.com every Monday.
Preach.
Yeah.
So, no, Griff
Nothing
and I,
wrong with that.
Griff and I, we thought that it was going to be a two-team race between Texas and Oakland because Oakland is very good. They were good on paper when we did our preseason, spring training previews.
Yep.
And they are just as good as advertised, even with the loss of Griffin for the season. Their starting pitching staff has picked up the slack, if you will. But Texas has been racked with injuries. Now this is a major blow to their offense, losing Prince Fielder. So, yeah, I think it's going to come down to Oakland and L.A. now.
Yeah, I agree with that because I just don't think Seattle has enough. I mean, I know they got Robinson Cano, but I don't think they have enough to compete with
one player
is
not going to make a difference.
Right.
They need the rest of those young players that are on their team to step up and contribute as well.
Yeah.
I think even if Oakland had injuries, they're so deep in their farm league.
Yeah, they are.
Texas is just lacking that depth. Prince Fielder's gone. No one can make up for the runs he would have had.
No one's going to be able to make up that kind of production that Prince Fielder can give you.
And I know he wasn't having the best season before he got hurt, but I think by the middle of summer he probably would have figured it out and turned it around, and he could have really.
You could also say that
could have been a big help.
Lack of production could have been because of the injury.
Yeah,
I
mean, if it's a herniated
disc
in your neck.
Freudian slip.
There you go.
Oh, that was bad. If it's a herniated disc in your neck, you're gonna feel that. Like that's really painful,
right?
See, and you're gonna feel it down your whole spine. It's not just gonna be that one spot.
That's the thing. I think that happened. See, that's the thing I think that happened last year with Tyler Flowers with the White Sox.
Right.
Love Flowers. We talk about him daily.
He had major, I think it was shoulder problems last year, and it was kind of undiagnosed. And I think that's the reason why he had such a lack of production last year. And now he's finally healthy, and we're actually seeing that because he's hitting like over 300 right now. It's unbelievable. When the season started, I was like, who is this guy, and what did he do with the real Tyler Flowers? It's like somebody replaced that guy.
He's one of your best batters right now in Chicago, isn't he? On the White Sox team?
Yeah, one of the best hitters on the team.
He's like batting a 3
not named
something.
Jose Abreu.
Yeah.
Because Jose Abreu still leads the team in all of the major statistical categories: average, home runs, RBIs, runs scored. Only thing he doesn't lead is stolen bases because he doesn't steal bases. He doesn't need to.
Right.
Who is next on the injury list?
Well, I mean, just like going back to the Sox. I mean, they have just had so many. That they've already had a lot of injuries, and of course, I know yesterday Nick was sort of talking about this, how Avisail Garcia is out for the season, and of course now you have De Aza playing every day in the outfield and Viciedo, and they're not,
I saw a story about Garcia. He has not watched a single game because he's so heartbroken that he's been gone this season.
Because I just like I think the White Sox would have a lot more wins if Avisail Garcia.
That dude is good.
Still,
he is
if
good.
He was still playing.
He would get you so many runs.
I know,
He's so good,
and you wouldn't have the defensive issues in the outfield. And he'd be right. He'd be batting 5th or 6th in that lineup. And
where do I begin with Diaza? The guy can't hit. He's hitting maybe 193 or something like
Darwin
that.
Barney of
his base running he's base running stupid because he makes stupid base running mistakes, and he cannot play the outfield. He's just bad at everything.
I got it, guys. Oh man,
Alejandro Diaza, bad at baseball.
Is there a hole in my glove?
And when I saw that Garcia went down, I was like, oh crap. Now we're going to have to see Diaza in the lineup every day. And because they don't have anybody else to fill in, who are you going to get? Jordan Danks? They tried that. They called him up. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So then they sent him back down again.
A pleasant surprise, though, is Viciedo's had some issues with strikeouts. Yeah, he's doing actually really good this season.
Viciedo offensively is doing good. He's still bad in the outfield.
Yes.
I don't think he should be playing the outfield, but that's just me.
Yeah, he's got a gun, though.
Yeah,
he does have a cannon for an arm, but that's because he was originally a third baseman, so he's always had a strong arm.
Why not just put him in third?
I don't know.
Why not?
That was his original position when they signed him years ago from Cuba.
He's from Cuba. He can run and catch.
I think that the success from his hitting has to do with the fact that the White Sox got a new pitching coach. Also, I think at the same time, I think Jose Abreu coming on the team has had a positive effect on the other Cuban players like Viciedo, like Alexei Ramirez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how about the year Alexi's having? He's still doing pretty good. I mean,
he's cooled down a little bit, but he's still playing very well. It's kind of surprising too, especially when the season started, because in April he's usually a very slow starter. He usually does bad in April because it's too cold for him. Because he's from Cuba, they don't like that cold weather. And in Chicago in April, it's always cold.
Right. All right, let's save all this for a later segment, our hometown heroes or whatever it's called.
Keep on hometown breakdown.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Let's keep on with the injuries.
Okay. Let's see. Talking about some injuries here, there's some new news on Josh Hamilton. He's supposed to be back later this month. He was sent on a AAA rehab assignment May 22nd. But he's supposed to be back late May. Hopefully he will be for them because
that would be a big help for that.
Yeah,
that Angels lineup to have Josh Hamilton back. I mean, I haven't been paying much attention to the Angels so far this year. I haven't seen how Albert Pujols has been doing, but I know he's been doing a lot better than I think people expected him to do.
Yes, he has. He's definitely been doing pretty well. He's had a couple games where he's hit multiple home runs, including when he hit his 500th, I think it was.
Yeah.
He hit that as part of like 2 home runs in the same night. Mike Trout on the Angels is day-to-day with leg tightness. He should be good to go, but he exited the game as a precaution May 20th, and he was not in the starting lineup yesterday. But he should be ready to go.
You need those 3 guys healthy on that Angels team if they want to compete with Oakland. If they want to catch up to Oakland, they need to have Hamilton and Trout in that lineup every day, along with Pujols.
Angels are doing very well without him, though. They're winning games.
Yeah, they're winning games, but I'm saying if they want to catch up and beat Oakland,
if you want to compete,
that's the only way you're going to be able to beat Oakland.
Yeah,
is when Hamilton comes back, he's going to have to be really good. He's going to have to.
That's the other thing.
Right in the middle of the lineup,
because since he signed with the Angels, he hasn't been playing his best baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that'll be a I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if he comes back, it'll be a good thing for the Angels, obviously.
Right.
Let's go over one more player before break. On the Houston Astros, their star center fielder, George Springer, their young guy that they brought up, he has a right hip flexor strain, but he shouldn't miss any time, it says. It says he suffered the injury in the bottom of the 9th inning, so the game was almost over. But in the bottom of the 9th inning, May 21st, he was not in the starting lineup yesterday. And so he should be back possibly tonight. If not tonight, he will certainly be back tomorrow. So hopefully he will be.
Yeah, I saw him in that series against the White Sox. Springer. That kid can run. He's fast.
Yeah, he's supposed to be really good. I know back earlier in the year when me and Andrew did the Fantasy Farm, we were going over some of the top prospects. I know he was right on the top of the list. He was in the top 10. I know, so he is supposed to be pretty good. But we'll go over more of these injuries, and we'll go over more of Cubs and Sox talk a little later on. Fantasy Fanatics, SportsTownChicago.com. Stick around. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And I'm the Swink.
And we were going over some injuries that have happened this in the last few days anyway, including Evan Gattis, who is the left fielder / catcher for the Braves. He has some viral symptoms, like some flu-like symptoms. He was a late scratch from the lineup May 20th. He's not in the starting lineup today, but he should be back and ready to go tomorrow, it looks like, so that's good news. The Brewers have had a lot of injuries. They've had Ryan Braun, who has been sort of injured all year. He's come back, played a couple of games, and then goes back. He exited the game early, May 22nd, that was yesterday. It's to be announced when he'll be back. He has right side tightness, but it looks like...
Oh, my side.
Yeah.
I know.
Right side tightness. Like, what is that?
It's tight.
I'm guessing this is latimus dorsi, but
I guess. But yeah,
upper dorsinus.
It's your dorsimus flexoris.
Right.
It's my upper dorsinus.
But he could
my
be.
My pinky hurts.
It says he could be back today, but don't be surprised if he's out of the lineup. So definitely, if he's on your fantasy team, you're going to want to put a replacement in if you have it. Carlos Gomez.
We should talk about replacements too.
Right, and it just says for his injury, it just says fatigue. So Carlos Gomez is tired. So
he's got that Joe Mauer disease.
Yeah, the Joe Mauer leg fatigue.
My
thing
legs feel tired. They don't hurt, but they're tired.
Carlos Gomez is a character.
He really is.
Did you see what he was doing recently?
With the thing in Atlanta when he did the like long trot around home plate, or
well, no, not just showing up pitchers when he hits a home run or anything like that. Recently, we talked about this on Monday. Actually, recently he apparently went on Google and he was looking up things that rich people do, and because he wants to be able to have conversations with other rich people like himself. And so I guess he was talking to Ryan Braun in the clubhouse, and he's like, "You should eat kiwi. It has more potassium than bananas."
That's a good fact to know.
Ryan Braun's just like, okay.
Yeah, man.
He's like,
thanks.
"So that's why I'm eating kiwi."
That's really bizarre.
I like to blend my kiwi with my tequila.
Jeez.
Carlos Gomez, what a weird guy.
I love that he starts fights. I love that he's outspoken. He's the Richard Sherman of baseball.
Yeah, he is kind of. I mean, he's a good ball player. He just...
yeah, but you don't showboat thinking you got a home run and you didn't.
Right.
You pretty much cost your team a run there because he could have had an inside-the-park home run had he ran it out the entire way instead of showboating thinking, oh, that's a home run. No, it just hit off the top of the wall. So he got a triple and barely got a triple because he almost got thrown out at third base on that play.
Right.
Had he not decided to think that, oh, I got a home run, so I'm just going to show off and do a little trot around the bases. Oh, wait, it hit off the wall. I better start running now. If he would have ran the entire way, hustled,
and he's fast enough too.
Yeah, he could have got it inside the park home run.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was like earlier in the year when that happened. And that
was like a month or two ago.
Right. And let's see, Giovanni Gallardo, who I think Andrew has. Don't you have Giovanni Gallardo?
No.
No?
I have Salant.
That's who it is. Giovanni Gallardo has a left ankle sprain. He's scheduled to throw a bullpen session today. So he threw one today or will throw one later today. And it says he's going to be back May 25th. That would be his next start. So he's probable to start his next start, which would be Sunday. So hopefully he'll be ready to. And There was some new news on Aramis Ramirez a couple days ago as he played catch and ran in the outfield. He still has that strained left hamstring, and he's still on the DL, but he is supposed to have a return sometime early next week. So
Monday.
Should be able to.
He's coming off the DL when eligible on Monday.
He's coming off on Monday, okay. Yeah, so that's good. Let's see here. Just trying to find a couple more injuries. On the Nationals, Adam LaRoche, who is usually their first baseman, but he's on the 15-day DL. He was sent on a Class A advanced rehab assignment May 22nd. He has a strained right quad. He's supposed to be back later this month. I don't know if Andrew could find an exact date on Adam LaRoche, but yeah, he's supposed to be back sometime late this month.
Monday is the more likely date. So
okay. And let's see, Gio Gonzalez was just recently placed on the disabled list with shoulder inflammation. He's scheduled to play catch from a flat ground today, and there's a possible early June return for him. And so, obviously the Nationals are going to want him back.
Yeah, that's a big loss for them.
Yeah, because normally, I mean, they have a really good staff.
Oh, they do.
They also have a really good.
I mean, they got some guy, too. You might have heard of him, Steven Strasburg.
Yes, Steven Strasburg, Jordan Zimmerman, Gio Gonzalez. They have a young guy that's doing pretty good, Tanner Rourke. He's done pretty well this year. So yeah, they've got a lot of good things happening with the Nationals. Let's see here.
It says on Gio Gonzalez, after an MRI on Sunday, showed no structural damage to his shoulder. It sounds like he'll require the minimum amount of time on the DL.
Yeah. Let's see if there's any more pitchers. Cliff Lee on the Phillies. I know they were possibly going to trade him, but now that he's on the DL, I don't know if anyone will want to have him on their team. I know that they were talking about that a little bit on TV I was watching, but yeah, he was placed on the 15-day DL 2 days ago. He has a left elbow strain, and it is to be determined when he'll be back.
They just say sidelined for 3 weeks. That's it.
Yeah, so 3 weeks. It could be more.
It's
obviously.
never good if you're a pitcher and there's something wrong with your elbow.
Yeah, that's never good.
He
might be the next victim.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh boy.
The epidemic is spreading.
And I hope not, because he's a veteran.
No one is
too.
safe.
That would not be good. If
Cliff,
John.
Cliff Lee, as far as trades go, I think that if you're the Rangers, you definitely have to look into trying to trade for him. Because you need pitching help.
Just so you can have another injured player on your team.
Well, no, you need they need pitching help.
They do, but we don't even know when Cliff Lee's going to be back.
And Cliff Lee has played for the Rangers before.
I think they should get Flowers. I don't know.
Flowers?
That's my thought.
He's a catcher.
He's the best.
You really like Tyler Flowers.
I really like Tyler Flowers.
I think you might be the only person in Chicago that really likes him.
Yeah.
I would say
he's got
so.
a good batting average,
I mean, he's doing good this year.
Yeah,
but
he is.
I've never met someone that was a Tyler Flowers fan.
I'm a huge Tyler Flowers
You don't see
fan.
anyone walking around with Tyler Flowers shirts
no.
or jerseys.
I think I
know
need to
that.
get a jersey and walk
I don't
by
know.
Rick's office.
I've seen. You know what? The one that I've seen that really boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Jose Contreras.
Wow.
Not only was it it wasn't a jersey and it wasn't a replica. It was an authentic Jose Contreras.
I'm surprised
jersey.
they even made those.
Yeah, I didn't even know they made those.
Contreras didn't even get a jersey. Like,
I mean, sure, he was like he was like a big part of their team.
Yeah, he was a big part of the 05 World Series team. But
Yeah.
after that, it just kind of,
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. There's one more pitcher that we'll go over.
Sabathia?
Yeah, we can go over CC
CC.
Sabathia for sure.
CC.
CC's Pizza.
CC Sabathia.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he needs any pizza right
was
Maybe a carrot or two.
He has a right knee issue.
hit the gym.
And he's currently on the DL. It says possibly July he'll be back. Possibly July. So
Eat a salad.
it could be more like August. He underwent a cortisone stem cell injection May 15th. He's rehabbing in a pool as of a couple days ago, so I guess he's still in that pool rehabbing. I don't know.
float, baby, float.
Maybe he can't get out of the pool.
He's in the inner. He's on like an inner tube or.
Yeah.
I can't swim, man.
Man, he has not been good for a long time.
One of those inflatable rafts with the drink in his hand.
The Yankees are still calling them their ace. I mean, Tanaka should have the job.
Tanaka has it.
He's their ace.
Well,
why would you ever
Tanaka
call
and Kuroda, they're two guys.
This is Tanaka's first year, and before he came around, Sabathia was their ace.
Right.
But I would say that Tanaka is making the case to be the new ace, if you will.
Ooh, here's some interesting news. The Yankees GM Brian Cashman will surely be considering options on the trade market.
Ooh.
But in the meantime, David Phelps, Vidal Nuno, and Chase Whiteley will man the back end of the rotation.
Is David Phelps related to Michael Phelps?
I don't believe anyone's related to Michael Phelps because Michael Phelps is a son of Poseidon.
And let's see. After an update, we'll talk more about this. Talk more about CC because he hasn't really, been that good of a player
Not since 2012.
Since even before that, maybe. He's really.
Did he win the Cy Young? No, that was 11.
Well, he's been around for a while. He was, on the Indians like in 2007 and stuff. But we'll talk more about this after an update. Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman. We never left you.
And I'm the Swink.
And we were talking, before we went to the update, we were talking a little bit about CC Sabathia and some of the players on the Yankees. And it's really interesting because, at least in my opinion, I don't think CC Sabathia has really been that good of a pitcher. He's definitely not been an ace. I know the Yankees keep calling him an ace, and he's been their ace for a while and whatever. But, he's definitely doesn't have ace stuff anymore. There's a lot of games where he just gets completely rattled, where he only pitches a couple innings, gives up, 5 or 6 runs.
I would even dare say that Pine Tar Pineda is
Pine Tar Pineda. I like that nickname.
Better than him. I think
well, that's
be
because he's using Pine Tar. He's cheating. That's why he's better than him.
Yeah,
I rub Pine Tar in my hands. Damn it!
That's why I
say
every
that
time.
Why did
I'm
going
to smear it on my neck. Surely no one will notice.
No one will notice that, even though a week ago they caught me for doing the same exact thing on my wrist.
Right.
I'm going to make it even more blatantly obvious that I'm cheating.
I'm going to write guilty on my forehead with Pine Tar.
Exactly. But no, Sabathia, he's getting older. I don't know how
he's
old
up
he is.
there, man. He's up there in
exactly how old he is.
Sports dinosaurs.
Yeah, when you
hit like 35, I'd say people begin to wonder.
Yeah, 35, when you really think about it in actual reality, isn't that old, but when it comes to sports age, it's dinosaur. When you gymnastics, it's like once you hit 23, we don't need you anymore. Right.
We have a 16-year-old that can do more than you can.
Right.
But there's some guys that can still. There are exceptions to that. There are some guys that are older, but they can still play like they're 25.
Then there's people that think they're an exception, like Brett Favre, but they're really not.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, CC. I remember he was on Milwaukee. He went from the Indians to Milwaukee when Milwaukee won the wild card in 2008.
That was when Milwaukee had a good team, and they made a great trade getting Sabathia from the Indians because he was really one of the key pieces in helping Milwaukee get to the playoffs that year.
Yeah, and he was really good then.
Yeah, he was.
And then he was pretty good on when the Yankees won the World Series in 2009. I know he could.
Yeah, when they first
he finally got
him,
his ring, which is
good.
good.
And then the talent-sucking vampires known as the New York Yankees snatched him up and gave him a deal he couldn't refuse.
Right.
Well,
Jacoby Ellsbury fell victim to that too this year.
Yeah. Man, he's he's Babe Ruth, dude.
Yeah, it's
well, they did the
sad.
same thing when Johnny Damon went to the Yankees.
That's right. Yeah.
He won the World Series with the Red Sox, and he turns around and signs with the Yankees. It was one of the ultimate portrayals as far as Boston fans go.
Yeah.
And Boston fans are pretty passionate about their sports, not just baseball, but
all sports. They're one of the best sports towns. Along with Chicago, Boston, New York, L.A. sometimes, at least with their Dodgers and Lakers.
Yeah,
the Angels won back in 2008. No,
they don't. The thing about L.A. is they don't really care about hockey there.
Right.
And they have a good hockey team, obviously. They won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And they do have a loyal following of fans, I think. because of Wayne Gretzky playing there years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, hockey just isn't catching on like the other sports in L.A.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because some people in L.A., if you ask them what hockey is, they'll be like, "What's hockey?" I don't know anything about hockey.
We have a hockey team
it's
here
like
in LA.
The Jamaican
it's too hot to have hockey
team up there in LA.
We'll take a break and come back. We're going to play the 7th inning stretch for you so you can stand up and stretch. And then we're going to do the hometown breakdown where we'll talk more about the Cubs and Sox and maybe a little Blackhawks too, as they are on their quest for the 2nd Stanley Cup in 2 consecutive years. So stick around for Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com.
If you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you eat yourself? What? I know I would. First, I'd smother myself with brown mustard and relish. I'd be so delicious. So would you?
I don't know.
Don't jerk me around, Norm. It's a simple question. A baby could answer it. If you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you eat yourself?
I guess so.
Oh, you made a wise choice, my friend.
It's the hometown breakdown.
Chicago Cubs, Sox, Bears, and Bulls.
Welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And I'm the Swink, and I just moved the table.
The entire table.
That's okay.
I'm demolishing the studio.
Yeah.
I was doing that on Monday, too.
Bust
Yeah.
it up!
Demolishing.
Bust it up!
Yeah. Speaking of Godzilla, have you seen Godzilla yet?
Caucasian
have you seen
Godzilla.
No, I have not seen it yet. I want to, though.
I didn't see it yet either, but it looks like it's going to be pretty good. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love Godzilla.
I like it. Godzilla, yeah.
yeah.
The greatest kaiju of all time,
Right.
Gojira. Dun, dun, dun.
So this is the hometown breakdown where we talk about the Cubs and Sox mainly. We'll talk about the Blackhawks too a little bit, but yeah, as far as the Cubs are concerned, they have actually been doing pretty good of late.
Has Baez been called up yet?
No, Javier Baez has not been called up yet.
How dare you?
No, they haven't called up Baez.
No,
yet.
he's not called up yet. Chris Bryant isn't up yet. But that's okay because I really like what Mike Olt has been doing lately. He's he's a big power hitter.
Olt and Lake, really, both of them.
Yeah. I mean, Lake strikes out way too often, I think, but and he just seems overmatched sometimes. But it's definitely starting to come. Like I can actually see the plan that everyone talks about. I can see it.
You can see it.
I can see it happening. Yes.
It's all a part of the plan.
2016. That's the date that keeps being
just
thrown
to
out
have
at me.
Drunk fans in the stands.
Watch for
That happens
2016.
every year.
That's every year, baby.
No matter how bad they
Win
are.
or lose,
Oh, I
the
know.
stands will be full of drunk people.
Yep, there'll just be more drunk
What
people.
inning
and
are
then-
we in? How many touchdowns are we up by?
It's because we don't
like
have
baseball.
It's because we don't have a video board, so everyone's trying to read the scoreboard. No one wants to look at that old scoreboard. Everyone wants to have the
So my
numbers come to
theory
them.
my theory is they gave out the number 14 off the scoreboard to Konerko.
Yeah.
Then they gave out the number 2 to Jeter
Right.
off the scoreboard. My theory is they're going to keep giving out numbers off the scoreboard until the scoreboard's gone, and then suddenly a video board will appear, and then the rooftop owners will be like, "Who told you I didn't want no video board?" And they'll be like, "Well, I don't know where this video board came from. It
Those
just
rooftop
appeared overnight."
owners. I hate those rooftop.
No, I don't think
monitors.
they're ever going to get rid of that old school scoreboard, though.
No.
It's still going to be there.
Yeah, but I think they're planning on having the video board where they can finally show replay and actually show you stuff
they
at
need
the
to
field,
do that,
which is
though.
nice.
I've been to Wrigley twice, I think, in the last 2 years, and that's one of those things they need to do. They need to add a video.
I know, because right now in right field they have a little...
Yeah, they have a little
screen.
thing there, but you
can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see it from certain angles wherever you're sitting.
Especially if you're sitting on the first baseline.
Yes.
You're not able to see it on the first base side. Me and Andrew know that when we went to a game back in
I
April.
went to a game where I was sitting on the first base side, and you can't see that video board. You have to be sitting either down the third baseline or center field.
I like little things like how fast was the last pitch, or what the player looks like.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like to see a picture of him.
Well, the White Sox have a beautiful video board there.
Yeah, they do.
And it's you get to see all of the standings from other games too.
Right.
Oh, no one's taken it yet? Oh man, don't mind this. This is nothing.
That's the one thing I like about the Cell is that their scoreboard they show all the scores and stuff of the other games going on while it's going on. It's really cool to look at, especially if you have fantasy teams, because you can be like,
it shows you
you're at the game,
you
you can see
who's
everything.
on base, who's pitching,
right.
Not just what the score is or what inning.
It's really nice. Even in Milwaukee, that they don't have it as nice as they do as the Cell with that.
Yeah,
they just have a little thing. Like
I remember
the
old out of town scoreboard up there. It was just a crappy looking light blue board with just LED lights on it, and it just showed the team name and the score. And
and I mean, I've only been to 3 ballparks. I've been to Cubs, Sox, and Milwaukee, and I mean. Like, all 3 of them are really nice. It's hard. Like
I've also been to Miller Park. I went there several years ago. I think it might have been in 2009. For a for a White Sox Brewers game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been to Texas Rangers Stadium. The oil tycoons really have made that place nice. They got the screen. They got everything. A grassy middle field. Like when you hit a home run, all the fans will run and try to get. Yeah, it's really nice. Except for all the fans falling off the ledges and dying.
Yeah,
that's not so nice.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that was bad.
If you're gonna reach for a home run, that might happen.
I went to another one. I went to was Angel Stadium, but that was like in the early '90s.
Cool.
So that was before they actually renovated it.
I've been by the stadium, but I never went to an Angels game. But I know they have a really nice outfield with the rocks and everything.
Yeah, the rocks and the water.
And then Tampa Bay, the stadium there in St. Pete.
The Drop.
You went there?
Horrible.
Canfield.
I feel bad for you.
If you're in the upper deck, you're like at eye level with the light scaffoldings.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
The structure.
And you're never going to see
anything.
You can't see the players. You can barely see.
Yeah, that lighting structure they have on the top.
The catwalk thing that they talk about.
Really, it's a problem sometimes when hitters hit the
the
ball
pop-ups. They have a rule for that.
Yeah, they have a rule for it, but it's always confusing because you don't know. It's like catwalk A means that it's in play, but catwalk B, if the ball hits catwalk B, it's a home run. But if it hits catwalk C, it's still in play. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. They have really screwy rules for that. Yeah. And the White Sox right now, they were in a little bit of a funk when they lost 2 of 3 to Houston and then 2 of 3 to Arizona too. But it looks like, especially, I mean, it would. I think it would be really big for the Sox if they could win 3 out of 4 against the Yankees this
definitely.
weekend. Yeah.
They are just coming off of a series victory against the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City, where they've not had very much success playing there in Kansas City the last several years. So to take 2 out of 3 from the Royals in Kansas City is a big thing for them.
But their one loss is coming tonight. We all already agreed on that. Their one loss is coming tonight.
Well,
who's pitching
I think if they're
that?
going to lose any game in the series, it would be tonight. I would think.
Well, I think it's automatic.
Because I think tomorrow it's like Danks, who isn't that good, but the Yankees aren't throwing out anybody either. So,
the
Nunez
Yankees' offense hasn't been playing very well at all the last several games. I mean, they lost to the Cubs, for crying out loud.
Right.
Yeah. That's a sign of things to come.
That's not a good thing.
But, Chris Sale was on the mound for the White Sox against the Yankees last night. He was phenomenal. Went 6 innings, 11 strikeouts.
Wow.
11 strikeouts in just 6 innings.
It's crazy.
That's pretty good. That's almost a strikeout per inning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is they always have these K signs that the fans will bring in. I said it on Twitter when I was watching the game. I hope the fans brought enough K signs tonight. And
yeah,
he had 11 Ks last night.
Thank God they weren't at the White Sox Stadium where you get a free couch for so many strikeouts or something. I don't know. I don't know.
They were there.
And were they?
Yeah.
In the Texas Rangers Stadium, if the pitcher throws 9 strikeouts, you get something ridiculous. All the fans get something.
Really?
So if they had something like that in White Sox Stadium, I just would expect the fans to go
they have
crazy.
They have a little promotion, like if the White Sox score a run in this third inning, you win a free coffee from Dunkin' Donuts or something like that.
Yeah, just like stupid little stuff like that.
Yeah, stupid little things like that.
But the Cubs don't have any of that.
Oh, they don't?
Because they're traditional, old-fashioned, good old baseball.
Enjoy the field.
Where you just stare at the field.
Enjoy the nostalgia.
Look at that grass.
Squint at the green scoreboard to try to see what's happening.
Try to figure out the old-fashioned scoreboard.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful grass.
I still see a lot of people there. Like every time I go to Wrigley Field, there's still all these old people with scorecards, and they're keeping track of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Not talking to anybody, just focused right in on the game. I mean, that's what a lot of Cub fans do at the games, especially now when they're not doing too well. So you're not going to have, a lot of people, like a lot of families anyway, aren't really going to the park because there's really no reason to when you're being so bad.
Bushy, thick ivy. Tell me that's not the best ivy you've seen.
I think the ivy's almost in. I think I was watching a game earlier this week where I think most of the ivy is in.
I've seen balls get stuck in that ivy.
Oh yeah, it's a ground rule double when it gets stuck in there. Yeah.
So every place has their own little rules.
Right.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the Hawks real quick before we get on out of here. They're going to play tomorrow night against LA, and then they play Monday, right? I think Monday's game 4. Who do you think the Hawks can win the 2 games in LA, or do you think they'll split? Or will they lose 2?
I've been saying the Hawks are just going to lose since game 1. And now I'm just going to go the opposite and say they're going to win the whole thing. Because every time I say they lose, I look like an idiot.
Well, see, whenever they play that first road game in a series, at least so far in the playoffs, they haven't won.
Right.
So, I don't know. But after the drubbing that they suffered a couple nights ago,
yeah,
I think they're going to respond tomorrow night and beat LA in the first game in LA, game 3.
Right. Yeah,
and plus
I'm
they're
hoping
going to have Andrew Shaw back, which is also good. I mean, he missed the last 7 games due to that lower body injury. Because in hockey, they just say, "Oh, it's an upper body injury, lower body injury." They don't specify in hockey, so you never know what it really is. In hockey, it's either an upper body injury, lower body injury. There's no details there.
Upper body injury. Oh, yeah, his skull was caved in.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
It could be anything.
And also a reminder, starting next week, me and Andrew are going to have some fantasy football talk, too, where we'll split the show into 2 well, it's a 2-hour show, but we're going to split it into baseball talk for the first hour, football talk for the second hour, or we'll switch it around.
Omaha!
Omaha! Because fantasy football season is coming up, where your training camps start in July, I think. So yeah, it'll be getting ready for another fantasy season, another Bears season.
Did you ever go to Bourbonnais?
I haven't. I really want to though.
I went there last year.
It was cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, Cutler's a jerk though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he definitely lives up to his reputation.
That kind of jerky look on his face. Pretty much, he's like that Kristen Stewart chick with the Twilight movies.
Yeah,
she always looks like she's constipated.
Same expression in her face
He kind of always looks like he's a jerk.
Yeah. Like, you could wait when they were done with practice, when they're getting off the field for autographs and all that. You just see Cutler zooming by in a little golf cart with the other quarterbacks.
Jeez.
To the infirmary!
What was really cool was
My
Devin
blood sugar is low.
Hester, actually. Devin Hester and I believe Brandon Marshall actually stayed behind and signed a bunch of autographs for kids.
That's cool.
Like I said, Cutler just zoomed by on his little golf cart.
Yeah.
And the Swink was pushing the kids out of the way.
Yeah. It's like, get out of here.
Give me that autograph. I have to get your autograph.
That's Brandon Marshall. Get out of my way. This is the NFL. It's never been.
No one's going to be getting Hester's autograph now. But.
Yeah, I was a fan of Devin Hester when he was with the Bears.
Oh, yeah, I was too.
I even have several Devin Hester jerseys. So
cool.
I'm a fan of Devin Hester. I hope he does well in Atlanta. So
yeah. Well, this has been Fantasy Fanatics. Thanks to Nick Swinke for coming in today to spend time with us.
Yeah,
and
please come in again.
Yeah, come in any time you want because you have some good baseball insight and know a lot about baseball, so it's very good for the show. And this has been Fantasy Fanatics. We'll see you next week. We're going to have fantasy football, too, to talk about next week. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
I'm Andrew Freeman.
And I am the Swink.
And we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.